Hello and welcome to episode 5 of my Final Fantasy Endwalker playthrough. We continue where we left off, just having been a toad. Ooh, this guy is dangerously, or playing dangerously. If he stays AFK for too long, he or she stays AFK for too long, he or she stay. They could get timed out. Let's continue. Alice is staring off in the direction of Erenveld. In the direction Erenveld departed, a thoughtful look on her face. What duty could warrant the direct involvement of the Forum and the commitment of all of its resources? Judging by what we just heard, none of the gleaners were offered any kind of explanation. At this point, it seems abundantly clear that we learned nothing new by pressing them further. We should head back to Yello and Krile for a moment, see what they think of this. Anything nearby? Southwest. We are probably heading this way in a second anyway. Where's Krile? It's funny how normal the forest seems now. As a toad, it was all so much more ominous and threatening. Welcome back. I trust you found Erenville then? Interesting. I had a feeling you would learn something of import, even if that something was simply a confirmation that no one knows much of anything. We should share this with Krile and then discuss how we'd like to proceed. Assuming we find her back at the farm, she was behaving oddly, so I bid her return and rest there. Perhaps not the best decision, in hindsight. Would you mind checking near those flowers and see she was so entranced by? The rest of us can survey more distant areas, just in case she decided to wander. What's the fastest way back up there? That's a large area. But I imagine, if she is anywhere, she's probably going to be right back there. Yep, there she is.
For you. The spell will keep it from wilting. She said you would need it for the journey ahead.
Oh! She's spoken to Hydaelyn. She could hear Hydaelyn.
Will you speak with her now? I cannot hope to match Minfilia's clarity, of course, but...
Thank you. Do not worry. She has lent me her body for only a moment. Just as I could not save the first from the flood of light, it has become arduous for me to interact with the physical world without assistance. Though I might converse with you for a time, the incorporeal form I assumed on the ship would be incapable of casting even the simplest enchantment. It is in the depths of the ethereal sea, the place to which all life returns, where my influence is greatest. After Minfilia's sacrifice on the first, it was to the sea, here in the source, where I ferried her soul. I wished that gentle spirit to find rest in the world she loved so well. Her, and another who may yet have a part to play, though that will depend on you. Take the flower, walk free, for you are free to go where you wish, to believe what you will.
Did she save Ep5's soul? Is that why he's narrating this?
That blue will be your guide, test and proof of your conviction. In darkness, seek joy. Surrender not to sadness, and see beyond despair. Walk free, and bear the light for others to follow. Together, raise it aloft and let it shine, till the end, blinding and radiant.
That was all too brief. Already she seems so far away. My apologies if I startled you. Ever since we began our descent into Labyrinthos, I had sensed another's will, straining to reach out. Even with my particular talents, though, I was unable to make a connection at first. So weak and tenuous it was. Once I took hold of that wispy thread, imagine my surprise to discover it was Heidelin herself. Needless to say, it seemed wise to learn what we could before letting go. Her answers were more cryptic than I would have liked, but at least she left us with a guide of sorts, that unusual flower. Yes, we are definitely making progress.
You can't be serious! We've done nothing wrong!
Master Fortuno? What business has the Forum with us?
Obstruction and suppression, apparently.
Mistress Baldessian, our records show you facilitated the Scions' entrance into Sharlayan by claiming them as assistants for your organization. We are aware of your investigations. After alerting the major institutions to the presence of potential troublemakers, we received word from an Archean custodian. A group operating under the auspices of the students, skulking about Labyrinthos and engaging in clandestine behavior.
Clandestine? We may not have entered Sharlayan as scions, but we did naught to conceal our identities. Our only purpose in this city is to seek the truth. I can think of no reason why our actions should warrant the Forum's intervention.
'Tis not our way to discourage the pursuit of knowledge, but the timing of such pursuits must be considered, not to mention their potential impact. With the world in chaos, we, the true caretakers of wisdom, have committed ourselves to an undertaking that demands the utmost discretion. And we will not risk its success by turning a blind eye to disruptive foreign elements in our midst.
What, then, is to be our fate? Will you put us on a ship back to Eorzea?
The Forum will convene to examine your case. The results of said inquiry will determine your future in this city. As for your absent companion, he has already been detained.
Grah! But why? Is reading a crime now, too?
Reading is encouraged, celebrated even. Not, however, of the volumes shelved in the restricted section of the library.
But he's an Archon. He's allowed down there.
Refusing to comply will only make matters worse. Let us instead treat this as an opportunity to open a dialogue with the Forum.
Silence is often one's best defense. I would advise against prolonging the proceedings with frivolous discourse. But enough. This is not the place for debate. The rostra await.
Interesting, they've taken my hood off.
Forgive me. I was careless.
We would have been detained regardless. This way, at least, we managed to stay together. I trust your time within the Forbidden Archives was well spent.
The Forum will come to order. This inquiry is now in session. As Speaker-elect, I will be presiding over the day's proceedings. Master Fortuner, would you be so kind as to restate the matter which compelled you to summon your colleagues with such urgency?
As you are all aware, we recently denied Eorzea's request for Sharlayan assistance. Since then, certain individuals dissatisfied with our decision have taken it upon themselves to interfere with our work. They entered our nation masquerading as associates of the students of Baldessian. But these malcontents are better known as the scions of the Seventh Dawn. These militants wield influence with both the Eorzean and Eastern alliances, and are inextricably involved with the crises presently afflicting the world at large. Loose in our city, these warmongers sought to meddle with and expose matters of state secret. What are they, if not a dire threat to be expelled?
You have tarnished the good name of the students. Galuf would be ashamed.
Galuf Baldessian was never one to forsake his fellow man. Even if this nation closed every door and retreated from the world, he would have found a way to help the Scions, help every soul of this star fight back against the coming doom.
A terrible enemy stands poised to lay waste to all we hold dear. In the face of such madness, Eorzea reached out to Sharlayan, a respected ally, in the hopes of forming a united front. Was your curt dismissal truly the best you could offer? Or are you so preoccupied with your momentous duty of an age long past that even the end of the world is unworthy of your attention?
Whence came this revelation?
From the mouth of a Forum member within fortuitous earshot.
Then it seems your findings support my own. The reason I visited the restricted shelves was to study records of the Forum's policymaking process, to better understand the historical trends underlying their most major decisions. At first glance, the positions of neutrality in war and the accumulation of knowledge above all else appear constant and consistent, the unchanging pillars of Sharlayan society. And once upon a time, I might have left it at that. These days, however, I am more attuned to the subtleties of governance, and so I noticed something odd. From a particular point in time, the purpose of these policies shifted. No longer was knowledge preserved for the benefit of society. Rather, society was to be gradually reshaped to ensure the preservation of knowledge. The most conspicuous and telling change was the one which befell Labyrinthos. Once little more than an oversized storehouse, an enormous allocation of funds saw it transformed into an advanced research and archival facility. I also discovered a fascinating account on the finances of our Dravanian colony. The settlement attracted students from far and wide, and the connections and tuition fees thus acquired were funneled into further improvements for the archives. Now, there is no question that our nation's progress is tied to the acquisition of wisdom. Nevertheless, the vast resources diverted for this purpose borders on the obscene. But returning to the matter of when, our change in course appears to have been made some 270 years ago.
The very same period when Sharlayan scholars in the hinterlands began a formal study of the ethereal sea. You found something, did you not? And whatever it was, gave rise to your oh-so-important duty.
Mind your tongue, Archon. If you had seen...
Yes. We are bound by a duty we cannot ignore. Knowing this, what would you have us do? Abandon our vital work and join you on the field of battle? We will never choose the way of the sword. We will fulfill our mission, not through strife and bloodshed, but survival. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must, then. But we scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Such misguided zeal.
Father, Master Fortuno, I fail to understand the stance you have elected to take. But by the same token, I have yet to find a compelling argument to counter the challenge you put to us in Gridania. Still, in the midst of my uncertainty, I must trust in myself to do what is right, as others have chosen to trust in me.
Arenval.
So I will continue, as I always have, weighing the consequences of my every action, and allowing my hope for the future to inform my decisions.
That's quite enough. Have you all forgotten the reason for this assembly?
Skolok Monteshane. He's the head of the studium and an old friend of my grandfather's.
Honestly, every discussion devolves into some interminable debate. Terrible habit. Let's return to the topic at hand, hmm? By their own admission, these scions have resolved to fight alongside the Eorzean nations against the doom which swift approaches. But there exists no evidence of an attempt to incite our citizens to do the same. Furthermore, while our decision may well have been the correct one, we cannot simply bull our way through these disagreements without inviting doubts or objections. Put yourselves in their place. Who among you would leave a tome unopened if an elder forbid you read it with no reason given? No. If we're to quell further discontent, then we must conclude this matter with a fair and even hand.
Order! We will have order! Master Monteshane raises some valid points. Keeping such concerns in mind, I propose we enforce the following measures. Until further notice, the students of Baldesion are to cease any and all activities within the domain of Sharlayan. You will also refrain from any further investigation into the Forum's decisions and duties. Failure to comply with these restrictions will result in the immediate expulsion of your scion associates. Let us put this judgment to a vote. All in favor, raise your hand.
That's about half of them.
I count 51 for and 48 against. The proposal is passed. Students, scions, you have heard the Forum's judgment. Pray abide by it, or face the consequences. Honored members, I thank you for your time. This inquiry is concluded.
Oh, we simply must speak to everyone now. Thank the gods for Skolok. Oh, she literally just said the name. Monteshane. I absolutely loathe arguing in circles. My father may be right that I'm still groping in the dark for answers, but I need him to know that I would never stop searching. I owe that much to Arenvold and myself. I apologise for the trouble I've caused you. I was pondering the significance of what I had just read as I left the restricted section, and knocked over the security mammoth on the way out. I promise to be more vigilant next time. So we got caught because he was clumsy. You may still encounter some raised eyebrows, but I do continue to claim that the students, as your sponsors, let's try that again. You may encounter some raised eyebrows, but I do continue to claim the students as your sponsors whensoever the need arises. I believe in the guiding principle of the scions, and I know my grandfather would as well. Well, at least we've been allowed to remain in the city, and our endless investigation has not been in vain. we now know that this mysterious duty of theirs began with whatever the forums discovered in the ethereal sea. Excuse me. With our freedoms so sorely curtailed, however, we will struggle to learn aught more of substance here in Shalia. Hey, we finally leveled up. We shall have to think very carefully about how we have to proceed from here. When is my next ability or trait? We get Phantom Kamatahachi. Taihachi? Kamatahachi. Something like that. Let's see. 5 yells, potency of 550 for the first enemy and 50% less. It's 380 plus 160. So 400, 540. It is 10 potency more and it's AoE. So it is always worth getting it in if you can. So when would that mean the best point to start that combo is? If we're only going to get 4, then we want to use 1, 2, then activate Bushin, then use Aeolian Edge, Spinning Edge, and Gust Slash, and then 1 more Aeolian Edge, and then Phantom Kamatahachi. So that would be it. 3, 1, 2, 3, and then while I put an F2. Although technically we can use F2 anywhere in that combo, which will give a nice bit of extra movement if needed. But I think that's the best way to max damage out of that. But we get that next level, not this one. Alize has a look of dissatisfaction. The overall picture has grown clearer, yes, but that's in spite of the Forum being so maddeningly vague about their duty, or this duty of theirs. Why are they so reluctant to explain their actions in plain words? Survival, come what may. My father's work so vital that it takes precedent over his own family. Alphano, Alize, it is you! Is that their mother? When I heard you had been dragged before the Forum, I came as swiftly as I could. I am so very glad they allowed you to stay. Mother? Amelia? No. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Hopefully it will get voiced at some point. At your service. And do you find people must be the scions of the Seventh Dawn? How lovely it is to finally meet you. Stunned surprise. Mother, please. We don't wish to make things difficult for you. If word reaches father that you are here. Oh, bother that. I am to be chastised for speaking with my own children. I am well aware that you and Master Fortuno are not on the best of terms at the moment, but I've been absolutely desperate to see my darlings again. And you will come by the house, won't you? I have gifts waiting. The timing couldn't be better. As matters stand, we shan't be going anywhere until we discuss matters with Thanker's group and reconsider our options. Go, visit your home. We'll be back in the annex when you're ready to rejoin us. I'm not sure Nathan, what do you think? Nathan? The Nathan Skidmore? What a splendid day this has turned out to be. She's gonna insist that I join you. That look on their face and that nod is like, I don't have a choice in this matter. I'm going to have to come. But we must be quick about it. Not for my own benefit, but should my husband return to find you enjoying our hospitality, the servants will be made to suffer the consequences. Nathan, if you would be so kind as to escort my children to the estate. I need to go prepare. And then she was gone. And with her, any opportunity to protest. Indeed, the matter is settled. Enjoy yourself, you three. And abandoned. I'm sure Alphino thinks nothing of it. He invited classmates over all the time. But well, this wasn't the most... it was a different time for me, alright? I apologise. My mother is not one to take no for an answer. Still, I'm glad, relieved even, that she sees... to see her in such high spirits. What say you, Nathan? Though it seems we shall have little enough time to enjoy it, will you accompany to visit our home? Fine, if we're going, then let's get it over with. Be sure to stay within the entrance hall. No peeking in our private chambers, thank you very much. Why ever not? Your room was always perfectly neat and tidy. Everyone has things they'd rather keep for themselves, don't they? Cherished mementos you couldn't bring yourself to throw away? Childhood toys? I mean, never mind. Levier's estate is this way, straight down the stairs. Come on. It's not working because the stairs in the way of the line of sight. Have I lost them? Nope, they're still over there. When Alice and I were little, the bridge was as far as we were permitted to wander alone. I say alone, but my mother or a servant was always somewhere nearby, keeping a watchful eye. But look at us now, travelling to different continents, different worlds even. As a child, Alphino and I would wait here for our father to come home from work. It must have been a day when his meetings ran along, because I remember growing restless and leaning out the railings to watch the water rush by. Father, of course, arrived at that exact moment, came pounding down the path in a panic, crying out my name. Did your father think you were going to jump? I have brought your children as instructed. And here you are at last. Please, do come in.
Welcome home, my lady.
What? What are you gawping at?
I'm an adventurer. This kind of opulence is new to me. House Levier in all of its grandeur. The science headquarters must have seemed squalid indeed. Just admiring the craftsmanship. These are also good answers. Which one would I want to pick? Let's go with the last one.
Oh, I suppose I never gave the decor much thought. I'm glad that you approve, I think.
Lord Fortuneau is not to hear of this visit. And I should also like the children to have their gifts, ere my husband makes his return.
As you wish, my lady.
Is this where he's getting his sage equipment from?
Master Alphino, Mistress Alice, if you would accompany me upstairs.
We shan't be long.
He's going to ascend as an academic and descend as a sage. Calling it now.
The twins have been sending letters home from time to time, recounting their latest adventures.
Ooh, I'll be interested to know exactly how Alice has been wording her opinions of me.
I am sure they withhold certain details, of course, if only to keep me from worrying. Yet a mother worries all the same. In the early days especially, I tried to support them as best I could, sending the scions coin and other such donations. Fortunately, they have found the strength to overcome adversity time and time again. Their words grow more confident with every letter, their depictions more vivid. The triumphs and defeats, the joys and sorrows. It is clear that they have come to find value in every experience. But of those they treasure most, it would seem that meeting you might be the most impactful. Why, since that fateful day, I do believe there has not been a single missive in which you were not mentioned by name.
Don't be that surprised, we know this.
'Tis plain they care for you, and I am glad they have such a steadfast companion watching over them. Under normal circumstances, I would offer you tea, but alas, these are anything but. In any event, why don't you keep me company whilst we await my children's return? Perhaps you might regale me with a tale or two of your exploits.
Gladly.
When you mentioned gifts, I wasn't sure what to expect. Mother,
You got the new outfit you wanted.
Oh, look how well it fits you. And the style is to your liking?
It's perfect. Exactly what I would have chosen. But please, tell me you had something different made for Alphino.
Naturally. You are hardly little children anymore. And while I shall miss dressing you in those precious matching outfits, I must respect the individuals you have grown to become. See for yourself.
Thank you for the splendid clothes, Mother. Stylish, comfortable, and eminently practical.
I am so glad you like them. They are, however, missing one final touch.
If you would allow me, Master Alphino.
Wait. Are these...
Mules?
A sage's tools of the trade. They belonged to your father. though he may as well be chained to his desk these days. As a student, he was often called upon to venture into the field. He wielded those armaments, both to heal and to harm in no few battles. None so fierce as those you two have braved, perhaps, but battles nonetheless. Thus did I pull them out of storage, to show you that he was not always the man who stands in vehement opposition to you now. And also because it would be a terrible waste of ridiculously expensive House Leveilleur commissioned artistry.
Soul Crystal?
I am told these devices are quite difficult to master, but someone of your extensive experience should soon have them darting about with grace and aplomb. May the wisdom in that crystal serve you well. And please, try to find common ground with your father, that you might come and go without need for this awful subterfuge.
We will, Mother. I promise.
My final gifts to you, before you run off, are an observation and a suggestion. Firstly, Fortunato has ever been a serious man, but it was only after you were born that he truly lost himself in his work. I may not know the Forum's inner workings, but I know your father's. The timing of that change in him holds some significance. Secondly, do not seek to best your father with words. Far better that you simply show him. Let him discover the merit of your actions, after they cannot be undone.
Oh, Mother.
We shall take your wisdom to heart. Thank you again for these gifts, and farewell for now.
Safe travels, my children.
Oops. Eat well, stay warm, and keep your friends close. Where are they? And that was that. Only the gods know when we'll be back again. Thanks for indulging Mother's request. I can see it meant a lot to her, and I shall refrain from inquiring as to the contents of your private conversation. Our visit was all too brief. For now, however, it will have to suffice, as will these tokens of home that we carry with us. These gifts help us these gifts help us remember who we are and whence we came. But enough sentimentality. Let's return to the annex and rejoin our companions. Oh, I was going to grab that, but I see something shining over there. Okay, let's get back up there. Annex. Oh yeah, we need to double click it now. Let's have a quick word with everyone. I don't think for a moment that I'm jealous of Alphino's new weapons. They are far more suited to him than me. We left Eorzea in matching outfits, but our styles, both fashion and fighting, have long since diverged. If anything, I'm proud of the differences between us. If I intend to master these sage armaments, that will mean learning to imbue them with the same ether that I pour into the moonstone, or into moonstone and obsidian. It is difficult to grasp the essence of such. It is difficult to grasp the essence of such an entity. For me, it will help to think of these new lifts as allies in battle, simply a new form of energy which went into manifesting my carbuncle companions. For us to feel responsible for the schism of Half-Levieur would be pure hubris. After all, we were merely on the outskirts of what essentially is a family affair. Yet neither can we claim indifference of strangers. To hear their mother welcoming them so warmly was a joy and a relief. As curious as I am to learn the truth of this duty, I wonder what else the Forum is hiding. A calamitous secret whose origins lies in the ethereal sea. Duplicity aside, however, I do not believe Master Fortuno means us ill. Even the harsh words he had for his children stemmed not from anger, I think, but desperation. Enjoy your time with the Levieurs, I hope? I would ask how the twins fared, but their new outfits tell the tale. I only hope we can help them reconcile with their father, and that they might return home one day with their heads held high. In the meantime, we edge ever closer to the secret the Forum strives to hide, and the flowers bequeathed to you by Heidelin, or the flower bequeathed to you by Heidelin, is sure to guide us going forwards. I'm confident that once you've scouted out the situation in Favnia, we'll be well equipped to plot our next move. Okay, well, that's as good a place as any to end this particular episode. Let's have these guys in the shot behind us. So yeah, we'll leave it there, and on the next episode, it's time to start making our way to Favnia. So thank you very much for watching, hopefully you enjoyed the show, and hopefully I will see you next time. Cheerio.